in the Pyrenees between the French and Spanish borders. For 715 years, from 1278 to 1993, Andorrans lived under a unique co-principality, ruled by French and Spanish leaders. From 1607 onward, the French chief of state and the Bishop of Urgell. In 1993, this feudal system was modified with the introduction of a modern constitution. The co-princes remained as titular heads of state, but the government transformed into a parliamentary democracy.
Andorra has become a popular tourist destination visited by approximately 8 million people each year, drawn by the winter sports, summer climate, and duty-free shopping. Andorra has also become a wealthy international commercial centre because of its mature banking sector and low taxes. As part of its effort to modernise its economy, Andorra has opened to foreign investment, and engaged in other reforms, such as advancing tax initiatives aimed at supporting a broader infrastructure. Although not a member of the EU, Andorra enjoys a special relationship with the bloc that is governed by various customs and cooperation agreements and uses the euro as its national currency.
Geography.
Location: Southwestern Europe, Pyrenees Mountains, on the border between France and Spain.
Geographic coordinates: 4230 N, 130 E.
Map references: Europe.
Area: total
468 square kilometers.
Land:
468 square kilometers.
Water:
0 square kilometers.
Country comparison to the world:
196.
Area: comparative 2.5 times the size of Washington, D.C.
Land boundaries: total
118 kilometers.
Border countries: 2.
France 55 kilometers, Spain 63 kilometers.
Coastline: 0 kilometers. Landlocked.
Maritime claims: none. Landlocked.
Climate: temperate, snowy, cold winters and warm, dry summers.
Terrain: rugged mountains dissected by narrow valleys.
Elevation: mean elevation
1,996 meters.
Elevation extremes:
840 meters lowest point.
Ruruna.
2946 highest point.
Pic di Coma Pedrosa.
Natural resources: hydropower, mineral water, timber, iron ore, lead.
Land use: agricultural land
44.47%.
Arable land
13.4%. Permanent crops
0% / permanent pasture
86.6%.
Forest
34%.
Other
21.5%.
Irrigated land 0 square kilometers.
Population distribution: population is unevenly distributed and is concentrated in the 7 urbanized valleys that make up the country's parishes. Political administrative divisions.
Natural hazards: avalanches.
Environment: current issues. Deforestation: overgrazing of mountain meadows contributes to soil erosion. Air pollution: wastewater treatment and solid waste disposal.
Environment: international agreements. Party to.
Biodiversity: desertification, hazardous wastes, ozone layer protection.
Signed, but not ratified.
None of the selected agreements.
Geography. Note: landlocked. Straddles a number of important crossroads in the Pyrenees.
People and society.
Population: 85,708.
Country comparison to the world:
200.
Nationality: noun.
Andorran. S.
Adjective:
Andorran.
Ethnic groups: Andorran 45.5%, Spanish 26.6%, Portuguese 12.9%, French 5.2%, other 9.8%.
Note:
Data represent population by nationality.
Languages: Catalan, official. French, Castilian, Portuguese.
Religions: Roman Catholic, predominant.
Age structure: 0 to 14 years.
14.06%, male 6,197 / female 5,856.
15 to 24 years.
9.78%, male 4,344 / female 4,035.
25 to 54 years.
45.27%, male 19,813 / female 18,990.
55 to 64 years.
14.71%, male 6,674/female 5,935.
65 years and over.
16.18%, male 7,047/female 6,817.
Population pyramid.
Population pyramid.
Median age, total.
44.9 years.
Male.
45.1 years.
Female.
44.8 years.
Country comparison to the world.
6.
Population growth rate.
The average annual percent change in the population, resulting from a surplus, or deficit, of births over deaths and the balance of migrants entering and leaving a country. The rate may be positive or negative. The growth rate is a factor in determining how great a burden would be imposed on a country by the changing needs of its people for infrastructure, for example, schools, hospitals, housing, roads, resources, for example, food, water, electricity, and jobs. Rapid population growth can be seen as more population growth rate field listing
minus 0.01%.
Country comparison to the world
195.
birth rate 7.3 births out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world
224.
death rate 7.4 deaths out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world
113.
net migration rate 0 migrants out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world
70.
Population distribution. Population is unevenly distributed and is concentrated in the 7 urbanized valleys that make up the country's parishes, political administrative divisions.
Urbanization, urban population.
88.1% of total population.
Rate of urbanization.
Minus 0.31% annual rate of change.
Major urban areas. Population 23,000 Andorra la Vella, capital.
Sex ratio at birth
1.07 male apostrophe s/female.
0 to 14 years
1.05 male apostrophe s/female.
15 to 24 years
1.08 male apostrophe s/female.
25 to 54 years
1.05 male apostrophe s/female.
55 to 64 years
1.15 male apostrophe s/female.
65 years and over
1.02 male apostrophe s/female.
total population
1.06 male apostrophe s/female.
infant mortality rate total
3.6 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
male
3.6 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
female
3.5 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
country comparison to the world
195.
life expectancy at birth total population
82.9 years.
male
80.7 years.
female
85.3 years.
country comparison to the world
8.
total fertility rate 1.41 children born/woman.
Country comparison to the world
211.
health expenditures 8.1% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world
54.
physicians density 3.69 physicians out of 1,000 population.
Hospital bed density 2.5 beds out of 1,000 population.
Drinking water source improved.
Urban
100% of population.
rural
100% of population.
total
100% of population.
unimproved
Urban
0% of population.
rural
0% of population.
total
0% of population.
sanitation facility access improved.
Urban
100% of population.
rural
100% of population.
total
100% of population.
unimproved
Urban
0% of population.
rural
0% of population.
total
0% of population.
HIV/AIDS adult prevalence rate not.
HIV/AIDS, people living with HIV/AIDS, NA.
HIV/AIDS deaths not.
Obesity, adult prevalence rate 25.6%.
Country comparison to the world.
49.
Education expenditures. 3.3% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
135.
Literacy. Definition.
Age 15 and over can read and write.
Total population.
100%.
Male.
100%.
Female.
100%.
Government.
Country name. Conventional long form.
Principality of Andorra.
Conventional short form.
Andorra.
Local long form.
Principate d'Andorra.
Local short form.
Andorra.
Etymology.
The origin of the country's name is obscure. The name may derive from the Arabic ad-dar, meaning the forest, a reference to its location as part of the Spanish March, defensive buffer zone, against the invading Moors in the 8th century.
Government type. Parliamentary democracy. Since March 1993, that retains its chiefs of state in the form of a co-principality. The two princes are the President of France and Bishop of Ceuta, Spain, who delegate responsibility to other officials.
Capital. Name.
Andorra la Vella.
Geographic coordinates.
4230 N. 131 A.
Time difference.
UTC +1. 6 hours ahead of Washington, D.C. during standard time.
Daylight saving time.
+1. Begins last Sunday in March, ends last Sunday in October.
Etymology.
Translates as Andorra the Old in Catalan.
Administrative divisions. 7 parishes, parroquies, singular, parroquia, Andorra la Vella, Canillo, in Camp, Escales in Gordony, La Masna, Ordino, St. Julia de Loria.
Independence.
For most countries, this entry gives the date that sovereignty was achieved and from which nation, empire, or trusteeship. For the other countries, the date given may not represent independence in the strict sense, but rather some significant nationhood event such as the traditional founding date or the date of unification, federation, confederation, establishment, fundamental change in the form of government, or state succession. For a number of countries, the establishment of statehood. More independence field listing.
1278. Formed under the joint sovereignty of the French Count of Foix and the Spanish Bishop of Ajul.
National holiday. Our Lady of Merit-Xel Day, 8 September, 1278.
Constitution. History.
Drafted 1991, approved by referendum the 14th of March 1993, effective the 28th of April 1993.
Amendments.
Proposed by the co-princes jointly or by the General Council. Passage requires at least a 2/3 majority vote by the General Council, ratification in a referendum, and sanctioning by the co-princes.
Legal system. Mixed legal system of civil and customary law with the influence of canon law.
International Law Organization participation. Has not submitted an ICJ jurisdiction declaration, except sick jurisdiction.
Citizenship. Citizenship by birth.
No.
Citizenship by descent only.
The mother must be an Andorran citizen or the father must have been born in Andorra and both parents maintain permanent residence in Andorra.
Dual citizenship recognized.
No.
Residency requirement for naturalization.
25 years.
Suffrage. 18 years of age. Universal.
Executive branch. Chief of State.
Co-Prince Emmanuel Macron. Since the 14th of May 2017, represented by Patrick Stroester, since the 14th of May 2017, and co-prince Archbishop Joan Emmerich Vives I Sicilia, since the 12th of May 2003, represented by Josep Maria Mori, since the 20th of July 2012.
Head of Government.
Head of Government, or Cap de Govern, Antoni Martí Petit, since the 1st of April 2015.
Cabinet.
Executive Council of 10 ministers designated by the Head of Government.
Elections. Appointments.
Head of Government indirectly elected by the General Council, and/or in Parliament, formally appointed by the co-princes for a 4-year term. Election last held on the 31st of March 2015, next to be held in March 2019. The leader of the majority party in the General Council is usually elected head of government.
Election results.
Antoni Martí Petit, DA, elected head of government. Percent of General Council vote -79%.
Legislative branch. Description.
Unicameral General Council of the Valleys or Council General de les Valls. a minimum of 28 seats, 14 members directly elected in multi-seat constituencies, parishes, by simple majority vote, and 14 directly elected in a single national constituency by proportional representation vote. Members serve 4-year terms. Note: voters cast 2 separate ballots, one for a national list and one for a parish list.
Elections.
Last held on the 1st of March 2015. Next to be held in March 2019.
Election results.
Percent of vote by party: DA 37%, PLA 27.7%, PSVARC Independent Coalition 23.5%, STP 11.7%. Seats by party: DA 15, PLA 8, PSVARC Independent Coalition 3, STP 2. Composition: men 18, women 10. Percent of women 35.7%.
Judicial branch. Highest courts.
Supreme Court of Justice of Andorra or Tribunal Superior de la Justícia de Andorra consists of the court president and 8 judges organized into civil, criminal, and administrative chambers. Constitutional Court or Tribunal Constitucional consists of 4 magistrates.
Judge selection and term of office.
Supreme Court President and judges appointed by the Supreme Council of Justice, a 5-member judicial policy and administrative body appointed, 1 each by the COP princes, 1 by the General Council, 1 by the Executive Council President, and 1 by the courts. Judges serve 6-year renewable terms. Constitutional magistrates appointed, 2 by the COP princes and 2 by the General Council. Magistrates' appointments limited to 2 consecutive 8-year terms.
Subordinate courts.
Tribunal of Judges or Tribunal de Battles, Tribunal of the Courts or Tribunal de Courts.
Political parties and leaders. Citizens Initiative or IC, Sergi Ricard, including PS, VA, IC, and Independents.
Democrats for Andorra or DA, Antoni Martí Petit.
Greens of Andorra or VA, Isabel Lozano Munoz, July Fernandez Blasi.
Liberal Party or PLA, Jordi Gallardo.
Social Democratic Party or BS, Vincent Calaferra.
Social Democratic Progress Party or SDP, Victor Nordi Zamora.
Note:
Andorra has several smaller parties at the parish level. One is Lauredian Union.
International Organization Participation, FAO, ICAO, ICC, NGOs, ICT, ICRM, IFCS, Interpol, IOC, IPU, ITU, OIF, OPCW, OS, UN, UNCTAD, UNESCO, Union Latina, UNTO, WCO, WHO, WIPO, WTO, Observer.
Diplomatic representation in the U.S. Chief of Mission.
Ambassador Eliza Devives Balmaner, since the 2nd of March 2016.
Chancery.
2 United Nations Plaza, 27th floor, New York, New York 10017.
Telephone.
121275080064.
Fax.
121275066630.
Diplomatic representation from the U.S. The U.S. does not have an embassy in Andorra. The U.S. ambassador to Spain is accredited to Andorra. U.S. interests in Andorra are represented by the U.S. Consulate General's office in Barcelona, Spain. Mailing address:
Paseo Reina Elizalde de Montcada, 23, 08034 Barcelona, Spain. Telephone:
34 93 280 2227. Fax:
34932806175.
Flag description: 3 vertical bands of blue, hoist side, yellow, and red, with the national coat of arms centered in the yellow band. The latter band is slightly wider than the other 2 so that the ratio of band widths is 8:9:8. The coat of arms features a quartered shield with the emblems of, starting in the upper left and proceeding clockwise,
Urgell, Foix, Ben, and Catalonia. The motto reads Virtus Unita Fortia, Strength United is Stronger. The flag combines the blue and red French colors with the red and yellow of Spain to show Franco-Spanish protection.
Note:
similar to the flags of Chad and Romania, which do not have a national coat of arms in the center, and the flag of Moldova, which does bear a national emblem.
National symbol, S.
A national symbol is a formal, floral, or other abstract representation, or some distinctive object, that over time has come to be closely identified with a country or entity. Not all countries have national symbols, a few countries have more than one. National symbols field listing.
Red cow, breed unspecified. National colors.
Blue, yellow, red.
National anthem.
A generally patriotic musical composition, usually in the form of a song or hymn of praise, that evokes and eulogizes the history, traditions, or struggles of a nation or its people. National anthems can be officially recognized as a national song by a country's constitution or by an enacted law, or simply by tradition. Although most anthems contain lyrics, some do not. National anthem field listing.
Name.
El Gran Carmine, The Great Charlemagne.
Lyrics/music.
Joan Benluca Vivo, Enric Marfine Bons.
Note.
Adopted 1921. The anthem provides a brief history of Andorra in a first-person narrative.
Economy.
Economy. Overview. Andorra has a developed economy and a free market, with per capita income above the European average and above the level of its neighbors, Spain and France. The country has developed a sophisticated infrastructure including a one-of-a-kind microfiber optic network for the entire country. Tourism, retail sales, and finance comprise more than 3/4 of GDP. Duty-free shopping for some products and the country's summer and winter resorts attract millions of visitors annually. Andorra uses the euro and is effectively subject to the monetary policy of the European Central Bank. Andorra's comparative advantage as a tax haven eroded when the borders of neighboring France and Spain opened and the government eased bank secrecy laws under pressure from the EU and ECT.
Agricultural production is limited. Only about 5% of the land is arable, and most food has to be imported, making the economy vulnerable to changes in fuel and food prices. The principal livestock is sheep. Manufacturing output and exports consist mainly of perfumes and cosmetic products, products of the printing industry, electrical machinery and equipment, clothing, tobacco products, and furniture. Andorra is a member of the EU Customs Union and is treated as an EU member for trade in manufactured goods, no tariffs, and as a non-EU member for agricultural products.
To provide incentives for growth and diversification in the economy, the Andorran government began sweeping economic reforms in 2006. The Parliament approved 3 laws to complement the first phase of economic openness.
On companies, October 2007, on business accounting, December 2007, and on foreign investment, April 2008 and June 2012. From 2011 to 2015, the Parliament also approved direct taxes in the form of taxes on corporations, on individual incomes of residents and non-residents, and on capital gains, savings, and economic activities. These regulations aim to establish a transparent, modern, and internationally comparable regulatory framework, in order to attract foreign investment in businesses that offer higher value added.
GDP, purchasing power parity, $3.327 billion.
$3.363 billion.
$3.273 billion.
Note.
Data are in 2012 US dollars.
Country comparison to the world.
186.
GDP. Official exchange rate. $2.712 billion.
GDP. Real growth rate. Minus 1.1%.
1.4%.
Minus 0.1%.
Country comparison to the world.
203.
GDP per capita. PPP. $49,900.
$51,300.
$50,300.
Country comparison to the world.
32.
GDP, composition, by sector of origin, agriculture.
11.9%.
Industry.
33.6%.
Services.
54.5%.
Agriculture, products. Small quantities of rye, wheat, barley, oats, vegetables, tobacco, sheep, cattle.
Industries. Tourism, particularly skiing, banking, timber, furniture.
Industrial production growth rate. NA.
Labor force. 39,750.
Country comparison to the world.
196.
Labor force. By occupation, agriculture,
0.5%,
industry,
4.4%,
services,
95.1%,
unemployment rate, 3.7%,
4.1%,
country comparison to the world,
44.
household income or consumption by percentage share,
Data on household income or consumption come from household surveys, the results adjusted for household size. Nations use different standards and procedures in collecting and adjusting the data. Surveys based on income will normally show a more unequal distribution than surveys based on consumption. The quality of surveys is improving with time, yet caution is still necessary in making inter-country comparisons. Household income or consumption by percentage share field listing.
lowest 10%,
Not,
highest 10%,
not,
budget, revenues,
1.872 billion,
expenditures,
2.06 billion.
taxes and other revenues, 69% of GDP,
Country comparison to the world.
5,
Budget surplus, plus, or deficit, minus 6.9% of GDP.
country comparison to the world,
192,
public debt, 41% of GDP,
41.4% of GDP.
country comparison to the world,
122,
fiscal year, calendar year,
inflation rate, consumer prices, minus 0.9%.
minus 0.1%,
Country comparison to the world.
1,
Exports, $78.71 million.
$79.57 million,
Country comparison to the world.
200,
Exports, commodities, tobacco products, furniture,
imports, $1.257 billion,
$1.264 billion.
country comparison to the world,
177,
imports, commodities, consumer goods, food, fuel, electricity,
debt, external, $0,
country comparison to the world,
203,
exchange rates, euros,